Good afternoon, my dear students. Welcome to our daily news analysis. Before I start, I request all of you to subscribe to our social media channels, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and Telegram. I hope all of you will do subscribe and like our channels, send your positive comments to the channels. That will be a great encouragement to our program. I remind you again that at 3 o'clock today there will be a session on quantitative aptitude focusing on the upcoming State Bank of India and IBPS officers examination, the prelims focus, and this will be a regular feature on all days except Sundays, and the live session at 3 o'clock will be available only to our students. The news analysis, as you all know, is available to everyone, but the 3 p.m. sessions will be available only to our students who have enrolled in our bank examination training course. So today we shall be discussing the Hindu dated November 17. I am sure that you all have gone through the papers well and prepared your own diary of events. In fact, to have the best utility of this program, all must come prepared. Of course, whatever I contribute through the daily analysis or through my weekly notes or daily quiz will have the best utility when you come prepared, when you make your own notes. So let us begin on a promising note with today's news analysis. So good afternoon all my students, good to see you all again. Let us begin. The main news has been about the Bihar election and the subsequent selection of Nitish Kumar as the Chief Minister of Bihar, and one judge of the Supreme Court rescued himself from hearing a petition, contempt petition on 𝐃𝐚𝐿 Reddy, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister. This is going to be an important question for your examination, upcoming examination. Nitish Kumar, 7th time Chief Minister of Bihar. He became the Chief Minister for the first time in the year 2000, and that tenure was ended only in 7 days time, and this is his 4th consecutive Chief Ministership of Bihar. So who is the governor of Bihar? It is Phagu Chauhan. Again an important information. Bihar has come as a focus state with the assembly elections, so Chief Minister of Bihar will be important. Information regarding the Chief Minister will be important, and what the country is looking at is how much free the Chief Minister will be this time, thanks to his party being a minority party in the coalition. So what are the major portfolios that his party will get, and what are the portfolios that he has to share with the BJP are the things that the political observers are looking at. Judge rescues himself from Jagan case. As a matter of propriety and as a matter of convention, judges of the Supreme Court and High Court will not hear cases of clients to whom they have got some degree of connection. Justice UU Lalit of the Supreme Court of India refused to hear the contempt petition against Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister 𝐌 Reddy. So what was the case? That he levelled false, vague and political allegations against Supreme Court Judge N.V. Ramana and other High Court judges. That was the case. So, the contempt case, should there be a contempt case initiated against Jagan Mohan Reddy, that is what Justice U.U. Lalit was to hear, but since he represented some of the parties in the case while he was a senior Supreme Court advocate, he refused to hear this particular petition. So, this is a matter of propriety which the judges of the Supreme Court and High Courts keep. They generally do not hear petitions connected with people whom they had prior acquaintance. So, as a matter of propriety and as a matter of convention, precedence, Justice U.U. Lalit has refused to hear the petition against Jagan Mohan Reddy. So, now the Chief Justice of India will allocate this case to some other judge. We have to just follow. Of course, this is not of any importance to our examination at the point of time for sure, but these are the conventions and precedences that the courts keep, an occasion for us to understand and realize that. Early data show Moderna vaccine is 94.5% effective. These are all good news that are emanating from different sources. Last week Pfizer came out claiming that its vaccine was 90% effective. Now, Moderna, an American company, has revealed that they will their vaccine is 94.5% effective. Anyway, these are all excellent news. If normalcy is to be received back all across the spectrum, then we got to have a vaccine in place, and transports should be, people's movement should become normalized, and public confidence should be normalized. So, if we have to regain public confidence, for a country like India's scale, we require vaccine, we require not just vaccine, accessibility of vaccines to maximum people with clear-cut priorities set to priority groups or vulnerable groups. So, we are all looking at with hope that by next month, as indicated by our Prime Minister and the government, we will have a vaccine, and signs are good. So, closely watch what are the companies and what their vaccine titles are. So, there are plenty of candidate vaccines available now. So, all these things will be important. What is the name of vaccine by Pfizer, what is the name of vaccine by Moderna, and what are the candidate vaccines from India. All these, Oxford University vaccine is prepared by Serum Institute in Pune. So, all these names are going to dominate news in the days to come. Closely follow them. Threat or treat, this is the newspaper editorial of the Hindu. Hindu has applied its conscience on this particular article, this subject, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP. We discussed a bit in detail yesterday about RCEP. RCEP was signed 2 days ago. Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership is a 15-country partnership, economic partnership, ASEAN 10 countries, Association of Southeastern Nations, Malaysia, Singapore, Laos, Cambodia, Philippines, Indonesia, etc. These are all ASEAN tiger nations, plus 5 other nations. They are Japan, Australia, New Zealand, South Korea and China. They have made an agreement that is called RCEP. In fact, India was also a party to initial negotiations, and in November 2019, India formally withdrew from RCEP, citing our domestic concerns. We thought that cheap goods will come to India, and that will be that will create an adverse effect on Indian production and Indian manufacturers. cheap Chinese goods will flood to India. That was what our major concern. Anyway, India cited what were India's concerns: rules of origin, trade in services, movement of persons, and crucially remedies and safeguards. These were the major concerns of India. Citing all these concerns, we opted out of RCEP, but now our concerns are different. See, the second wave of coronavirus is plaguing Europe. Whether we are losing a big chance is what Hindu cites, because this RCEP, it is going to be the biggest trade bloc in the world, covering almost 30% of global GDP. So, is it a good decision that we opted out, is the question that the Hindu asks. So, only time will prove. We had domestic concerns, and we cannot move to a kind of a protectionist era, because that is a thing of the past. So, we cannot have any kind of protection, we cannot overprotect our economy. But anyway, RCEP countries have not closed the door to India, rather they have said that they will wait for India to apply, and if we give an application of membership, then they will decide whether it can be granted to India. Anyway, only time will prove whether it was an opportunity lost or whether it was a good safeguard. We are suspicious about China, we are suspicious about our losing the market. On the other side, we are trying to make India self-reliant and self-sufficient in manufacturing. We had a good record in software, but in manufacturing we are still in infancy, but the government is trying to promote a manufacturing sector self-reliant. So, we have to wait and see whether the government, how the government will decide on RCEP. At the moment, government believes that it is not a missed boat, we have to wait. So, please read and make ideas about this topic. This topic is going to dominate in the days to come. There will be plenty of articles coming up in newspapers. Read them with keen mind. Needed a policy framework in step with technology. This was a beautiful article by Srivastav Ram. He is the managing director of Wheels India Limited. See, some of the points are very striking, that is what we have to know. Look at the automobile sector. He says that 40% of the goods that are used in an automobile is connected with electronics, and in a modern vehicle, 100 million lines of codes are written, which is more than what is used in Boeing aeroplanes, and more than what is written in Chrome browser. So, the vehicles that we use are no longer a mechanical device, rather it is a predominantly electronic device. So, it has taken a paradigm shift in the value add from the intangible service as opposed to a physical technology. This is what the article has written. So, please read, it gives you some idea, and this is a new domain of thought to you. Fresh directive to digital media firms on FDI. This is something that we discussed yesterday. Last week, the government brought the digital content under the purview of the Information Broadcasting Ministry. We did not have a regulator as such, we did not have a regulator to regulate the digital content. We know that our cinema that comes in theatres are censored before they are beamed. There is a Central Board of Film Certification in India, but the same films are now beamed through Amazon Prime, Hotstar, etc., but such digital contents are not in any way screened. So, this particular action was not something new, but it was in the offing. It has been in the offing since the last 1 year. Government gave these companies, there are nearly 9 digital streaming companies in India, they were given directions by the government for some kind of a self regulation, but they did not do it to the satisfaction of the government. So, now the government has decided to come with a the first step towards regulation. The Information and Broadcasting Ministry of the Government of India has been asked to regulate the digital streaming in India. The government has again come out with a notification saying that all companies have to comply with the government order to keep the foreign direct investment levels in these companies to 26%. So, last year government has limited the foreign direct investment, FDI participation in these companies to 26%. So, this 26% has to be complied with. So, the government said you have to let us know the profile of investors, meaning who all have invested, how much money in these companies, and government has given time till October 15, 2021 for all the companies to limit the FDI cap at 26%, meaning if any company has got more than 26% of foreign direct investment, it has to be reduced to 26% in 1 year time. So, that news is clear to you, I believe. Let us proceed. What is behind the conflict between Ethiopian government and Tigray rebels? Listen, this is an issue, international issue, that is just boiling up. So, this is the time that you have to follow. You have to follow the news very carefully from the very beginning. Then it will become a part of your mind as a story. That is how you have to approach the newspaper. Everything should remain in your mind as a good story. We know that Tigray is the in the northern part, I told you many times before too, in the northern part of Ethiopia, the Tigray region. Tigrayans are a minority in Ethiopia. You know that most of the African countries were ruled by clans or military juntas. So, the Tigray People's Liberation Front, Tigray People's Liberation Front was instrumental in ousting the military junta in 1975, and after that they became a political party. So, now Tigray People's Liberation Front is a political party, a part of the military, of a part of the ruling coalition of Ethiopia. So, it was founded in 1975. The TPLF was founded in 1975 as a resistance army of the Tigrayan people against a military dictatorship, and later on they converted themselves into a political party. Now, what are the recent issue? I shall tell you. Listen, Ethiopian People's Democratic Revolutionary Front, EPRDF, is a coalition to which TPLF is also a party. So, EPRDF has been ruling this country, Ethiopia. A few years back, present Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed formed his own party called Prosperity Party. TPLF is not a party to Prosperity Party. So, what is Abiy Ahmed's party? Prosperity Party. TPLF is not a part of the Prosperity Party. Listen, traditionally for the past many years, in many Ethiopian governments, TPLF's influence was very high. So, they formed only almost 6 to 7% of the Ethiopian population, but in every sphere of power TPLF members were there. So, Abiy Ahmed tried to right size influence of TPLF. There started the rift between the Prime Minister of Ethiopia and TPLF. We must understand that Ethiopia and Eritrea, the neighboring country, has been under war, had been under war for many years, and Abiy Ahmed, when he became the Prime Minister, was instrumental in stopping the war between the neighboring Eritrea, for which the Nobel Peace Prize Committee awarded him the Nobel Peace Prize of 2019. Now TPLF has shown its true colors and they are becoming truly a military force and acting and controlling. So Abiy Ahmed, the Prime Minister, has sent his troops to take back control over the northern region, and that is the issue. So how it is going to be sold? Now there are many people are moving, 25,000 people have moved to Sudan, the neighboring country. There is an exodus of people, which also we discussed yesterday. Anyway, what I am saying is that this particular story is just beginning, and this is the time to learn it as a story. Let the story get imprinted in your mind. High praise for Dr. Manmohan Singh in Barack Obama's new memoir. What's the memoir's name? Very important, it will come for your examination. A Promised Land. I remember reading that it was during the 2010 financial crisis where the world went to a kind of a recessive mode. Barack Obama was the President of the United States then, and all of a sudden he realized that the world's most powerful nation could not solve all the problems of the world, and if the problems of the world were to be solved, it required active participation from major developing countries like India and China. And he immediately convened a meeting, and he I still remember a photograph where world's leaders were listening to our Prime Minister as if they were attending the class of the professor. So Dr. Prime Minister is kept at very high esteem by Barack Obama, which is a pride moment for the country. Please read. So what's his name? Name of the memoir, A Promised Land. So that's it. The first part is already released. WPI quickens to 8-month high. What is WPI? The I'm sorry, the wholesale price index. See, inflation or rise in price is calculated at the consumer level and the wholesale level. I shall brief you what it is all about. Please listen to look at the board. Inflation is simply a rise in price. Inflation is simply rise in price. So we know that price of articles are not steady, it may vary. Why? What's the relationship? Prices are directly proportional to demand and inversely proportional to supply. When the demand of a product goes up, the prices will go up. When supply goes up, the prices will come down. This is the relationship between price and demand and supply, the market forces. Now, is inflation good? There are different stages of prices. One is called inflation. Prices are going up. What if prices are coming down continuously? Then it is called deflation. If prices are going up at abnormal levels, it is called hyperinflation or hyperflation. Another terminology, hyperinflation or hyperflation is a stage where prices go up abnormally, nobody is able to control. And stagflation is another thing. High inflation combined with high unemployment is called stagflation. So deflation means prices are steadily coming down, inflation means prices are going up steadily, stagflation means high level of inflation with high unemployment, and hyperinflation or hyperflation is a stage where everything goes out of control. You have to go to the shop with a sack full of money to get a handful of goods. So that is the situation of hyperflation. Now, is prices are steadily coming down, is it good? Suppose the inflation is very low, is it good? No. So what are the who are helped by inflation? I shall tell you. Listen, if inflation is steadily coming down, people will not have motivation to make savings. Why do we save money? We save money for three things. One, we require safety to our investment. Two, we need to ensure growth, we need growth. Three, we require liquidity. So these are the three reasons why we invest money. We invest money in anything, in land, in gold, in bank, in insurance, in shares, in bonds, wherever you invest money in, your intentions remain the same. They are safety, growth and liquidity. I am taking this growth. Why do you want your money to grow? Suppose you get 1 lakh rupee. If you keep this 1 lakh as such under your pillow, then the money will not grow. Next year, you will not be able to buy goods worth 1 lakh what you may buy today. Why? Because there is inflation. Inflation will start eating up the value of your money. That is why you want to grow your money at least to cover the rate of inflation. But if inflation is steadily coming down, you do not have any motivation to invest. So you will not invest. So what will happen? When you save, you will make investment. Investment is a necessary prerequisite for economic development. So if you do not save, there will not be any investment and that will not be good. So inflation, if within control, is a good thing. Inflation is required. Second, suppose if the inflation is going up, somebody will get the benefit. Suppose you are a debtor. You have taken loans from a bank. Then when the prices go up, money value comes down. So what you are repaying to the bank, the same say equated monthly installment or EMI is of lesser value. So these are the two simple things that I can tell you now why inflation is required. Inflation is needed because inflation will prompt people to make savings, which will be converted into investment, and that will help the country in a very big way for economic development. Anyway, you got an idea about inflation. I shall speak more about inflation in the days to come. Inflation is calculated in the consumer price index and in the wholesale price index. In India, it is done by the Central Statistical Organization, CSO. They continuously monitor price levels, take stock of prices of almost 1,200 plus commodities on a monthly basis, and they go for a kind of a consumption weightage. Maximum weightage is given to rice, let it be rice. Suppose India consumes the maximum rice, then rice will have maximum weightage in the basket of goods. So 1,200 plus goods, their prices are tabulated on a monthly basis and they are converted into a kind of a figure on the base of consumption weightage, and prices of November 2020 is compared with price levels of November 2019 and check whether the prices are going up or coming down. If it is coming down, country is in a deflationary mode. If it is going up, country is in an inflationary mode. Now I hope you have got a reasonably good idea about inflation. So please read whatever things that come up on inflation. I am here with you to let you know more ideas about inflation. Sorry. BPCL gets 3 to 4 bids, Reliance skips, no big players in race. BPCL is up for sale, Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited. BPCL has been up for sale, but there is no big players. Government still mulls that there are people who are ready to buy. The government has fixed that companies that are having 1,000 I do not remember the figure, I have forgotten the figure, it is a big amount, maybe 1,000 plus, I am not able to view it anywhere here. Only big companies can bid for, oil, bid for BPCL, but government was expecting the Reliance will come, Aramco of Saudi Arabia would come, but unfortunately not too many people are bidding for BPCL. So, Total and the British Petroleum, all these companies, Mukesh Ambani's Reliance Industries, Saudi's Aramco, British Petroleum and Total would come and bid for BPCL. That was what the government expected. Government prevented Indian oil majors like ONGC to bid for BPCL. Only new companies could bid. So, these were the companies that the government expected that they would bid for BPCL, but unfortunately no one has come. So, we have to wait and see. Already for 2020-21, government has planned to mobilize 2,10,000 crore through public sector disinvestment, but the fact is that till date government has been able to mobilize only 6,500 crore. So, this is a time when government needs money, but government has not been able to mobilize money through account. I have a question. CPI, it was notified that food price was rising, but in WPI it is said that food price cools down. What does it mean? Okay, listen, there are two price stages, the wholesale price index and consumer price index. Generally when wholesale price index goes up, consumer price will also go. But in between, mind you, there is transportation cost, there is keeping cost, all these things are there. So, that might have influenced and the profit margin of different intermediaries. So, there can be a situation when wholesale price of food items come down while the consumer prices go up. That can be a situation because in India the prices are determined, especially of food items, prices are determined not by the producers but by the intermediaries. This is one direct simple explanation that I can give at this moment. Okay. So, that is it for the day. Thank you very much. We shall meet again at 3 o'clock, and I am sure that you enjoyed the program, and I expect all of you to be more keen in watching the daily news analysis. To get the best benefit of the program, make sure that you all come prepared, and please give good, positive, encouraging comments against the program. That will definitely be an encouragement to all of us. Our team is working for you, and it is our responsibility to see that you all improve tremendously and become capable enough to clear these examinations. We are working for you, so what we require is your encouragement, and what we would like to see is your levels of enthusiasm. Thank you very much. Meet you at 3 o'clock.